a bit of a sell, but they got on board, and I said I wanted to go to Greta Gerwig. We set it up at Warner Brothers, went after Greta. Greta said, yes, can I, just one condition, I want to write it with Noah. And we were like, brilliant. And then that process began. And no one saw the script until they fully completed the script. So not Warner's, not Mattel, not me. And I read it and thought,
it was such an incredible script. It was undeniable, but it did occur to me that this might be the hardest role ever. Because how do you approach playing a 70-year-old crotchless doll nobody cares about? I mean, there's no research material for that. No documentaries you can watch. There's no one you can shadow that can tell you what that might be like. You're on your own. But the upside of that eventually is that no one can tell you you're doing it wrong. Well, the internet told me I was doing it wrong. And Margot, of course, and Greta could have told me. Sometimes your eyes told me I was doing it wrong. I never officially said it. So, it was a process. But I realized just how well observed it. Barbie landed in my house at the same time. The Barbie the doll and also the script, and my kids were sort of playing with Barbie and not playing with Ken. And I did see him out in the backyard, face down in the dirt. And I took a picture of it and I sent it to Greta, and I was like, his story should be told.
And I didn't necessarily feel represented in that world. Barbie, she's been around a long time, and sometimes she's been ahead of the curve, and sometimes she's been behind the curve, and so when Greta called to say I wrote a Barbie script, but hear me out, I was compelled because I knew Margot and Greta were at the head of it, and they're brilliant, talented, deep, interesting women, and I was so curious to see what they would do with it. And by the time I got to the end of the script, I was a Barbie girl, and I was invested and felt like, wow, of all the versions of a Barbie movie that we could get in 2022 or 2023, I'm so glad this is the one we get, and that it's taking the opportunity to include more of us who haven't historically seen ourselves represented in that world. And so it was, for me, such a no-brainer. I was a convert.
No, but I was just Ken, so I didn't feel qualified to make any total decisions. But I just was trying to get Barbie to notice me in every scene, and she never did. So I just had to keep escalating it to try and just get her to even get Margot to look at me in a scene or something. She wouldn't.
I was keeping it pretty low key, and I remember thinking it's going to be pretty grounded like that. Okay, I'm going to adjust the way I'm going to do it. I was going to go a bit bigger, but I'll go smaller. And then on day one, Ryan was just 150%, and I was like, oh shit! It was always about calibrating your performance with whoever you're on screen, because in this movie you really do go from moments of huge physical slapstick comedy, and it's ridiculous and absurd intentionally, and then 2 minutes later on screen you need people to be feeling that gut-wrenching, emotional moment that they connect with, and to keep that all existing in the same film. You just are trusting the director, who is a genius.